Hey everybody, welcome back to The Correct. It's Mars here. I'm here with my boys, PD and Cal. Say what's up, gents.
What's going on?
Ready to rock.
Hey, today...
Hey, come on. What was that?
What was what?
He said, ready to rock. It don't sound like he's ready to rock.
Who, me?
Yeah, not for this.
Cal.
Oh, man, yo. The Fantastic Four first step gets an intriguing new synopsis as Silver Surfer actor is confirmed. Okay, set against a vibrant backdrop of the 1960s-inspired retro-futuristic world, Marvel Studios' The Fantastic Four first step introduces Marvel's first family. Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal, Stu Storm, Invisible Woman, Vanessa Kirby, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, Joseph Quinn, and Ben Grimm, The Thing, Ebon Moss-Bachrach, as they face their most daunting challenge yet. Forced to balance their roles as heroes with the strength of their family bond, they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus, Ralph Ineson, and his enigmatic herald, Silver Surfer, Julia Garner. And if Galactus planned to devour the entire planet and everyone on it wasn't bad enough, it suddenly gets very, very personal. So, we've always wanted to see Galactus in a Fantastic Four movie. We want to always see a Silver Surfer, but Silver Surfer is now Julia Garner.
We've already seen Galactus in a Fantastic Four movie. We already seen Silver Surfer. Yes.
Which one?
It was the sequel to the first. It was the sequel to the movie they made in the 90s.
They didn't make him look like the Galactus we know and love.
Put a footnote on it. I'm just going to put a pin in it. I got something for that for you, so keep going.
Yeah. So what is your take on this, gentlemen? Before we start arguing about everything else, is this something that we are interested in? Do we see Julia Garner as the Silver Surfer? Can this really be it? Are they really going to show us what Galactus is in the very first movie instead of him being in a third movie?
Who did they cast as Silver Surfer?
Julia Garner
from Breaking Bad. She was the white trash girl in Breaking. No, what's it? The Ozarks. Sorry, Ozarks. If you remember Ozarks, the blonde from Ozarks. Yeah.
She had like a gritty look.
Is she supposed to be Charlotte Ball?
We don't know yet.
She's the Silver Surfer. Oh, I give up. They don't want this movie to be successful. Okay. I give up.
She's going to be bald, of course. She's probably have a mask on or something like that.
What does her being bald have to do with anything?
Everything. You want to see a bald Silver Surfer.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be taking you seriously right now. I have never seen so many people playing to lose. You're behind in the count. And you're swinging. I've just never seen this before. I'm like, I'm looking at the setup of the movie. Looks like a joke. Okay, this is who you cast for the Silver. Yeah. Okay. Hey. Obviously, you haven't lost enough money yet. Go ahead.
All
right. They don't respect the property.
What do you mean probably? What do you mean probably? How about definitely?
They want to make it a family show. They keep talking about it being a family, but it's like they want to make it a dysfunctional family. They want to make it a family that is going through so many issues that they barely work.
No, that's not a dysfunctional family. That's called a family. Okay, that's just a family. That's a dysfunction. To be honest, a dysfunctional family, okay, is where you don't have any interplay. There's no, mom is over here doing her own thing. That total separate. Then you could say it's dysfunctional. But family means group dynamic, and group dynamics are not easy. That's just it. There's no picture perfect family. If you want a picture perfect family, then you take a picture, okay, and you leave it at that. Okay, mom and dad will disagree. Okay, mom and dad with the kids will disagree. Brothers will disagree. That's not dysfunctional. That's just a family.
Okay, at the end of the day, I get that. I know that.
No, I know. I'm just saying that's not directed at you. That's directed at any misguided director who believes that this is what we got to do. This is what the Fantastic Four is, and that's not what they are. And if that's your approach to a family, okay, that because dad gets frustrated because the kids are always, asking for something, okay, or mom is over here like, hey, why do you guys keep leaving the toilet seat up, or the kids over here acting like actual kids? Well, that's a family. Historically, that's pretty much what families do. So if the whole idea is that's dysfunctional, then you're already, well, hey, You don't understand the Fantastic Four. I don't know who that is, but that's not the Silver Surfer. I can't wait to see what Galactus looks like. Okay, that'll be strike 3, and then hey, I guess what does it matter? A few $100 billion loss. I guess these guys have so much money they can just throw money away.
Well, the hard part is we did a video way back when where we tried to figure out what Marvel should do for the Fantastic Four, and the take they seem to be going with is kind of the take where Sue is kind of running the TV gamut, and one of our teammates came up with something that was similar. So it's kind of hard to see this as the FF thing, but they're kind of pushing it into the Jetson realm, or the which I mean, not the what's that thing called, the World's Fair type of thing, where it's the world of the future, and that's what the FF is kind of be. It seemed like from the trailer that we saw, they're going to be, Reed's going to have a science show. They're going to be walking around, them going into the spacesuits. But this plot that they're telling us now, that it gets personal, this seems to be the same thing has happened. This seems to be the same thing left over from the earlier Fox Fantastic Four movies, because clearly they introduced Frankie Ray in the second Fantastic Four movie. Silver Surfer's supposed to come back. Frankie Ray was having this moment with Johnny. They didn't have a relationship yet, but it was going to be, obviously, since Johnny's the big guy, character in those films, it was going to be the heartbreaking moment for Johnny where he would lose, it wouldn't be the Silver Surfer, it would be Nova, where Frankie Ray goes off into space with Galactus. They were going to show you Galactus, but somehow, I don't know if it was Marvel, the MCU decided to say, they showed a cloud. They just showed a cloud. But they clearly were going to have Galactus in the third one, but the money didn't, the money wasn't enough for them to stick with it. They went to the Josh Trank one and went way left with the FF. So this one is tough to see that they're using the leftover plot. It seems like the same with Spider-Man, even though it was very successful. They wanted to have sort of a Sinister Six, so they did that sort of thing. So it seems like, or this Captain America, Brave New World seems like leftover, Hulk stuff that they had lying around. So it feels like you get in the MCU, but every time we get the MCU, here's some plots left over from what was going on. I mean, everything has a history, like Spider-Man and the organic webs. That was a leftover from a James Cameron plot. So, but it feels, it's not them doing something different. It feels like, hey, what's the personal part? Is she going to be connected to Reed? Obviously, it seems like she's going to be connected to some space thing that they did, and they ran into this girl and the Fantastic Four comic has that. They went to the microverse, and this woman Perla fell in love with the Human Torch, and it wasn't re-examined until, like, I think, what's the issue? 284, where they were in the microverse, and Johnny runs into her, and he's like, she's taken with him again, but he's like, he had like most guys, you have a girlfriend and you don't want to do anything wrong. You throw the girlfriend out. I got a girlfriend now, type of thing. But yeah, it just feels like a leftover thing, and it being progressive by at the same time being leftover. I don't like it. Really kind of bothered by this, and I don't know if we're gonna get, the Fantastic Four we want, but we're gonna get Galactus. This is the same thing that Neil Adams said that the FF only have one story that worth telling in the movies, which is the Galactus stories. I don't believe that, but that's what it seems like Hollywood wants to do. And at the same time, we get a female Silver Surfer who possibly has some connection to Johnny. I don't know which one. It could be any of the other ones, but to mix it up, maybe it's maybe it's Ben. But this female, well, actually, she looks too young for it to be Ben or Reed, so it would have to be Johnny. And it feels like a leftover thing for me. So,
you think that they're really going to regurgitate an old script?
Yes.
Elements of an old script.
Yes.
I don't know. I just think that they would learn their lessons.
It's Hollywood. These guys do this all the time. You don't remember the story where the guy wanted Superman to fight a spider?
Oh yeah, yeah. There was a that's
Wanted him to fight a spider, and then what happened in Man of Steel? What did he do? He ended up fighting like a spider type liquid thing. At the end, it was like he got his spider eventually. This stuff just lays around, and people eventually, oh, what's this? Hey, this is just laying around here. Did we pay for it? Well, why don't we use it?
and they veto it, and they're like, no, we can't do this. We have to do the Josh Trank FF. Hey, I like this idea, and we did everything we could to
That's the wrong approach. Galactus is a big Fantastic Four villain, but he didn't show up until Fantastic Four 49, which means you had almost 50 issues. You had almost 50 issues of adventures that people were enjoying before we got to that particular story. So instead of saying, hey, let's actually, if this is the best story for the screen, okay, that may be but let's build to it. Let's build to it. Let's, maybe we don't necessarily start off with the Mole Man. You can't do the Skrulls, but there's still plenty of adventures in between. Okay, in between issue 1 and issue 49 that you can tap. Okay, and we could actually do some stuff. No. We gotta go with the big one first, and then all right. So you did the big story first. What do you do next? Nothing.
Dr. Doom.
Dr. Doom, please. If you were serious about Dr. Doom would be in your movie, as opposed to throwing in a female Silver Surfer, Galactus. They don't think this movie's gonna work, so they want. And the whole idea, they believe that Marvel movies are successful because of the Avengers, not because of that one particular movie, but audiences want to see a myriad amount of characters. They want to see multiple superheroes. Let's throw as many people as we can in there, so we can hedge the fact that the audience interest will stay up and we can go with it. The Fantastic Four. We already got 4 people. So what do we do? Let's throw in these multiples over here because that's what they're going with. Multiplicity means that it ensures viewership, is going to ensure money. Instead of saying, hey, no. These movies were successful because the stories were good. Stories were tight. The stories actually came out of these comics. Okay, so we didn't have to do a lot of heavy lifting. Okay, all we had to do was what worked here, adapt somewhat. Maybe do a couple things differently. We're not going to have Iron Man become a full-fledged, alcoholic, for example, and we just go from there. Instead, we get this stuff, and it screams, we don't think this is going to be successful, but we're doing it anyway.
Yeah, it's
What are you gonna do? I mean, it's. I see what you're saying, and I feel for it, particularly the Fantastic Four fans who've had to suffer through many different incarnations of this story. But I mean, like you said, they have a whole bunch of characters: Terrax, Mole Man, Doom. Well, not Doom, but what about Namor? Namor's already come out in.
They screwed up Namor. Okay, they already screwed up Namor. So if you want to do Namor right, you got to forget this Quetzalcoatl Namor that you did in Black Panther. Because that's not Namor. So you have to forget that one. But you had, what is it? Oh man, I'm trying to remember within the first 24 issues, because I don't know if we've seen the Watcher yet. But you would want to introduce him before you get to Galactus. Okay, actually, I'll recant. You could do a Mole Man adventure. Okay, you could do that because that's something that they haven't explored yet in the Marvel universe. This under the world beneath. This would be like Journey to the Center of the Earth. That type of stuff. Those are things that you can actually work. Okay, and you could probably do more than a few. You could probably do 2 or 3 issues because some of those issues were one and done. So you could probably do a few. Get a couple of those going into one particular film, make it a nice adventure, sci-fi adventure, and then build towards the whole thing with Galactus. But Galactus is, that is one of their most popular villains, one of their most popular antagonists. And instead of building towards it, like, no, we got to go, we got to swing for the bleachers, first time coming out. But this is not a one-shot deal. You want to be able to do more films, and you're not acting like that. All right,
that's the plan. That's the plan. Yeah. They don't plan to do. All right, that's the plan. Probably this is a one and done crew to set things up.
This looks like a plan to you?
I don't know. We don't understand what they're planning. That's the problem. It's like there's something missing.
They got Doom. They got Doom, and they have to do this. and
Yeah.
they're not.
There you go. We gotta do it. Why? Because he's a Fantastic Four villain, so we got to do Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Do we really care about this? No, not really. This is a formality. These guys are stupid.
Yeah. So it's a tough one to see that. No, that the idea that getting the Marvel spin on it, on any of these things, or we got these characters back, and then it feels like we have to put them in the 60s. We can't, even though Iron Man is a Cold War hero, or even the 60s, he's in with Vietnam and whatnot, that sort of thing. So it's like you have characters that are from an earlier period, all connected, like a lot of characters connected to radiation. FF is connected to, obviously, with like solar flares and cosmic rays in space, but you had things where you took these characters. Hulk, of course, is obviously connected to the bomb. So you have all these things, and they're doing they're doing present day stuff, with it now, when Marvel's all set up in that stuff. So the Fantastic Four, everyone said, well, we can't do it unless it's from the 60s. And what are you going to do? Once they get to the present day, then you're going to have Reed say something insulting to a woman, and be like, oh, no, we're more progressive today. You don't have to do X, Y, Z, where, people forget that Marvel characters just, progressed as they went along. At one point, Reed, Sue would have moments where she would stop mid-action and say, oh, you didn't check out my hairdo, to being an active part of the team. But I guess like Hank Pym, you wake up and decide, you know what, he probably was domineering to her, so we can slap the hell out of her. So it's like, we can't do this. We just have to take these guys, have their dynamic. Since you're using their dynamic in the Avengers, that's all the bickering. Why not keep the Fantastic Four as is and not say, we did the bickering in the Avengers. We can't do this. We're gonna do the Jetsons. And it's like, when I saw them in the Jetsons, and at the same time we have people using 3D printers doing the original Fantastic car, right? And we have they putting the actual toys into a 3D printer Fantastic car. Then that same Fantastic car showed up in Deadpool and Wolverine. So it's just like, why not just do the real Fantastic car instead of it's only a drawing of the Jetsons one, so they're the same company, they could put them in the flying bathtub, but I don't trust them to do that. So, but it's just tough to see this, and to, once they said it's personal, well, how would it be personal? Obviously, the Silver Surfer is probably connected to somebody. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong. But who else is it? How's it going to become personal? They went to some other planet they couldn't save. I don't know. It rolls all the way back to, since we know the Silver Surfer plot is that he, at one point he was a being of energy. I think that was Kirby's plan, that he basically was generated from energy from Galactus, and then it became that he saved his homeworld by this who knows how long journey of helping Galactus, being the herald of Galactus, finding planets for him. So that makes the Silver Surfer, if it's personal, it makes the journey of Julia Garner very short if she just met unless the Fantastic Four go into the future, and then we go from the 60s to the present day, and Galactus is here, so they have some time where, this new Silver Surfer was finding worlds for. But that's the other thing. A lot of times in the 70s, they got to a period where the job was to stop Galactus from eating. Obviously, Galactus should not eat Earth, because that's where everything happens at. But the thing is that Stan and Jack made it so he was, beyond good or evil. So the idea is at some point he has to eat. So you can't just not have him eat. And just, I think the Silver Surfer cartoon tried to play him more like a villain, where he was like, I need to eat. But it was like every 2 seconds. He's like, all right, we need to find another one. Like, this Galactus is pretty rough. So, so I think ultimately the Santa Jacket kind of gave this thing where Fantastic Four win. They have the ultimate nullifier, and they're like, hey, he's going to use it. And then the Watcher's like, hey, no, okay, Galactus is going to leave. He's going to respect the Earth. But here, give it to Galactus. It's like, why would you give the thing to stop the Galactus to Galactus. This is trying to show you that he's, you could trust him in that sense. And of course, at points he called the Fantastic Four his friends. So there's a lot of things to get to do Galactus right. And when I first, saying I met him, I saw, was it a Fantastic Four 243, where it's like Galactus versus everybody. So I saw the cartoon where he was in the beginning of it, but I never saw the actual cartoon. So I was like, finally, I get to see this guy. And it's so funny that, the FF didn't initially start fighting him. They were like, kind of like talking to him, and he's like, hey, we're in the bind. Terrax put me out on this, I'm out on a lurch, and he led me to the wrong world. So I'm going to have to eat at some point. And the Fantastic Four is like, we got to figure this out. And then once he takes out Terrax, then he's like, I got to take on the Earth. And then the Avengers get involved. But it was a push-pull thing. So I was like, wow, this is a little more than I expected. So, but are they going to do that in this movie? I doubt it.
No.
So, yeah. And that the personal part could be them being his friends, but then at the same time, having to say, we'll stop them. But, will they play out? We must save Galactus at the end. I doubt that too. So, he's a big guy and looks like a villain to everyone. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, but I don't know. It's like they're using him too early.
Yeah,
we all agree on
that's
it.
another thing. Yes.
It's too early unless they plan to use him again later, like in a celestial event, or they may be. Probably we're looking at it the wrong way. Probably we're looking at this as really all a setup for Secret Wars, right? And so they want to introduce characters like Galactus, so that when they put the Fantastic Four into Secret Wars, and then you have Doom and all that type of stuff.
Do you want to get me upset now?
Probably don't want to use the.
I agree to a certain extent. I believe it is a setup, but not for Secret Wars. I believe this is a setup for failure. So, and they're doing a very good job of it. They're doing a very good job of it. I've never seen anybody set themselves up like this, maybe with the exception of the Democrats. So, hey, Marvel, I don't know why, but this is what you want to do. Hey, nobody can stop you.
All right.
Okay, hey, so if you like what you heard, give us a comment, subscribe, spin a rack.
We're out.
We are out.